Just a Boring Day by Lula May Golightly. Scully hated winter. The unbearably cold weather of the grey, dreary skies mixed with the slushy snow just made everything seem gloomy. She walked quickly up the stairs to the building of her workplace, hugging her coat to her body. Her alarm clock seemed extraordinarily loud that morning, and no amount of coffee had helped her feel any less tired. It was going to be one of her grumpy days. "Morning," she said to Mulder. He leaned down and kissed her lips. "Someone looks like something's wrong," he commented. "It's been a long week." "It's only Wednesday," Mulder said. "Exactly. What are we doing today?" "Overdue expense reports." "Oh, what fun." "I know, but Skinner will kick my ass if we don't get this done," Mulder replied. "It's safe to say he'll kick both our asses," Scully said, "so I guess we'd better get to work." She sat down across from him at the desk and worked in silence for a while. She was a few papers in when she felt his foot brush her foot. "Mulder." "What? That was an accident." "Okay," she replied, suspicious. She saw him smirk out of the corner of her eye. It wasn't a mistake. His other foot found her ankle. "Mulder, what are you getting at?" "Nothing. I thought we had this conversation about keeping work, and yeah, but don't tell me you've never wanted to do it right here on this desk." She blushed. "Not the point. Of course it's not," he replied. "But you have wanted to." "Have you?" "Oh, Scully, you should know the answer to that question." His voice was lower, and his eyes had a certain glint to them. "What do you think I think about when you give me those looks of yours? The way you look at me. It drives a man crazy." A blush continued to creep its way up Scully's neck. "What are you thinking of right now?" She matched his low tone. He walked over to her side of the desk and leisurely leaned down, kissing her agonizingly slow. "This," he murmured. "I'm thinking of this." He picked her up and she instinctively wrapped her legs around his waist as Mulder's hand took a moment to appreciate her ass. She could feel his arousal firm against her stomach as he sat her down on the desk. Continuing his assault on her mouth, his tongue slipped in her mouth and she moaned into the kiss. "You drive me crazy," Mulder repeated, hiking her up her skirt and slipping a hand into her panties. "Mulder." Scully moaned at his name as his fingers teased her folds. She was already wet. The conversation prior to this had excited her more than she had realized. Mulder's thumb rubbed her clit as the other fingers slipped into her center, making her gasp. She ground herself against his hand, feeling the pleasure pool in her stomach already. "You like that?" Mulder said. "God, yes." She wasn't sure if he was really good or if the location was affecting her. She had dreamed of this. She couldn't deny it now. Mulder, I'm gonna..." she moaned. He rubbed faster, and she threw her head back as her release hit her. "Oh, God!" He let her ride out her orgasm until she laid her head against his shoulder, letting out a long exhale. She hummed as she pulled away. His erection was still pressing against her. "Mulder, do you have something I could help you with?" She smirked as she stroked him through his pants. "God, Scully, I don't think I can wait much longer," he groaned. "So don't," she said, pressing open-mouth kisses to his neck, raising her hips so she could remove her panties. She heard him undo his belt and unzip his pants. He held her close for a few moments until he finally slipped into her, gaining him a throaty moan. "Fuck," she rasped. He loved when she swore. It was incredibly arousing, especially in that raspy tone. "Jesus Christ, Scully," he hissed. "I don't think I'll last too long." "Kiss me," she said, and he grabbed her face and kissed her deeply. She matched his thrusts with her own, and they fell into a rhythm, until he felt his release approaching, and his thrusts became erratic. "Scully," he groaned, "you're gonna make me come." "Come on, Mulder," she whispered. "I want you to come." Her inner walls started to tighten around him, and she cried out as another orgasm hit her. He released into her just seconds later, and the power of their release caused them to slump against each other, breathing heavily for a few minutes. He stroked her hair. "Scully, you're so hot. We have to do this more." Scully chuckled. Could you imagine if Skinner had walked in? Not like it would be a surprise. The tension in here just gets insane. You vulture, she teased, pushing him away and smoothing her hair in her clothes, adjusting her skirt, and he adjusted himself back into his pants, wondering how he was going to continue the day. Well, after that little distraction, I say we get back to work, Scully said. Mulder pouted, but I need a coffee first. Would you care to join me? Of course, Scully. He smiled as he walked out of the door with her, his hand in its usual spot on her lower back.